transform how you work with technology. Our Python Essentials for MLOps, DevOps, and AIOps course will unlock the secrets of streamlined development, intelligent automation, and efficient operations. As you progress in your learning journey, you'll be mastering the Python fundamentals, discover the file automation strategies, conquer the command lines with ease, and even deploy the infrastructure like a pro. And this curriculum has been carefully designed so that as a learner, you'll be learning everything in a hands-on manner. This will unlock your potential in building the practical tools, scripts, and the pipeline that will amaze your team. You'll be diving into the package management, Docker, CI/CD workflows, and even the AWS fundamentals that will make you to be confident in implementing everything over the cloud. So take your skills to the next level with in-demand expertise in MLOps, AIOps, and even you'll also get a bonus content on the monitoring the applications as well. So by the end of this course, you won't just use technology, you'll own it. So stop struggling, start excelling, and upgrade your career. My name is Murthy from Manifold AI Learning. I look forward to seeing you on the class 1. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining in on this live session with Manifold AI Learning. Now, the topic of today's session is preparation strategy for NVIDIA-Certified Associate Generative AI LLMs examination. So, folks, before we get started, can you please confirm whether you can hear my voice and see my screen too? Please let me know in the comment section. Thank you, Dheeraj, Lakshmikant, Suraj, Saurabh, Sangeeta, Deepti. Okay, excellent. Thank you so much, guys, for confirmation. Thank you, Sai Krishna. Okay, Imad. Okay, Nisar. Perfect. Thank you so much, team, for your confirmation. Okay, thank you, Balaji. All right. So thank you everyone for joining in again for this live session with Manifold AI Learning. So folks, recently the NVIDIA have actually released the study guide as well as some of the key topics that you need to consider for your examination preparation. So in the initial days, we didn't had much clarity. Now, the recently the NVIDIA has released this study guide. So as we progress in this session today, I'll take you through what are the key aspects that you need to remember. There are some pitfalls that you need to avoid, especially while during the preparation. There are some places where we see the repeated wording in the examination guide. So I'll be taking you through what are the key things that you have to avoid and what are the key things that you have to remember during the preparation that will help you to prepare yourself for the examination and ensure that you're able to clear it in the first attempt. So let's get started, guys. So I'm already in the examination page, and one thing that they have released recently is the examination blueprint. So previously, there was not much about the weightage. Now that we have got the weightage as well, and let me talk about the core aspects, the weightage, and the key topics that you need to learn in each of the domain that we have got. So starting with core machine learning and AI knowledge. Now, when we say core machine learning and AI knowledge, you are expected to know the basics of generative AI, basics of deep learning, basics of machine learning, how to process the data, and what are the steps that is involved in the machine learning, the types of machine learning, and the high level intuition behind the machine learning, deep learning, and the large language models. So the reason that you have to know about everything because this actually has the 30% weightage. So you will not be tested from the programmatic side, but you will be tested on your understanding of the core knowledge. So that is what you would be learning. And even if you take a look into the examination blueprint, so they also have mentioned the recommended training. I've already went through that recommended training, went through the curriculum, and based on that, I'm sharing you guys. So here in this generative AI explained, you'll be getting a high level details about what exactly is generative AI and how is it different from the artificial, how is it different from the machine learning and the deep learning models. And the other recommendations from the NVIDIA resource is getting started with deep learning. There's a self-paced course. You can go through the scheme. So at a very high level, if you go through the content, the expectation is should be comfortable in construction of neural network and use the neural network to perform various tasks. Use the neural network on working with computer vision, natural language data, as well as it is also recommended that you are aware of implementing this transfer learning. And there's also another recommendation of fundamentals of deep learning. Like I can say both of them includes the topics that I've listed just now. So those are the key things that you need to remember for your examination preparation. And you also have to remember about the activation function, which is very much essential. You can expect one or two activation function based questions in your examination. The exam might test on your knowledge of the activation function and the role of that activation function. Then there's also another recommendation. We'll go through the recommended training at a very high level, and then I'll take you through the study guide team. Okay. So here they've also mentioned some recommended learning about the accelerating end-to-end data science workflow. So you're not expected to deep dive and work with this rapids library, but what is what would be helpful, if you ask me, is understanding what are the key components of the rapids library and how each component is going to contribute in helping us with the data analysis and the machine learning. To give you an example, we have something called as QDF. Now, QDF is a component of this Rapids library, and that would enable us to get the speed boost. That means it will allow the parallelization computation on GPU so that we can effectively analyze the data, especially the large volumes of data in a short span of time. So you should be aware of what exactly each component is going to do. And this QML also has the machine learning algorithm, and you can use those machine learning algorithm and implement it on the given data set. Maybe for your experimentation, you can actually try out the machine learning algorithm from the scikit-learn library as well as the QML library, and you can just differentiate. You can actually see how, like, are you getting the same result or are you getting the different result? And if you're getting the same result, are you seeing the speed boost? Like, since I'm talking about the Rapids library, let me just show you one of the example notebook that I've got with me. So I think, yeah. So this is a notebook that I've got, which will give you the perspective about this Rapids library. So if you take a look at it, so I've just did the installation in this notebook environment. So the important thing is you need to ensure that you have enabled the GPU. Since I've worked inside this collab environment, I've already enabled the GPU. And as a result of this, if you take a look at it, so I have created a data frame and I have randomly generated the data points. Okay, now I'll just show you right here. I've applied the linear regression model, and this linear regression model, I have performed the fit on this given data set. Okay, so for performing the fit, I've made use of the scikit-learn library's linear regression, and when I performed the fit, it actually took around close to 5 millisecond, I think. Let's check. Let me just see, is this the right one? Let's check. Okay, not this. Yeah, I think this would be a better way to describe the power of GPU. So I have implemented the k-means clustering algorithm. Now this is the k-means clustering algorithm implemented with the help of the sklearn library. Now when I performed the fit on the given data set, it took 164 millisecond. And when I did the same thing with the QML using the algorithm from this QML component of this Rapids library, so it actually took 26.3 millisecond, which means we are able to speed up our machine learning workflows too with the help of this Rapids library. So from the examination standpoint, you should be aware as what are the key components of this Rapids library and how it would help us in speeding up the overall data science workflow that we have got. And it is also important that you understand the fundamentals of each of this package. I mean, what are the advantages and what are the shortcomings of each of this component of this rapids library. So if you know that, I can say you're more than well prepared. You just need to know the definition of various components. If you know what are those definition and what is it used for, I would say you're good from this accelerating the data science workload. And the important one, the transformer based NLP. So it is highly recommended that you go through the research paper of this. Attention is all you need, because in that research paper, it has got various key components of this transformer architecture. It describes about the positional encoding, self attention, multi-head self attention. We also have masked multi-head attention. So and we also have the cross attention. So it's important that you know the definition of all these attention layers that we have got, and the role of the residual connections that we have got. So those are the key aspects that you need to be aware. So I highly recommend you to go through the research paper of this attention is all you need. And building the transformer based NLP for application, you just need to be aware, okay, from the examination standpoint, need to be aware as how we can use, what are the ways that you can use your large language models for performing the various NLP tasks. So a good way to uh, get a best idea is, maybe you can just import the Hugging Face library and use that Hugging Face library's pre-trained models, the various large language models that we have got, in implementing the various tasks, so that you understand what are the key steps that you would generally perform when you are using the transformer based architecture for various NLP tasks. And other key learnings that I would recommend is the prompt engineering. So here, from this standpoint of prompt engineering, you should be aware about what is prompt engineering, what are the key aspects of providing the prompt, the architecture of prompt, and how prompt is going to help us to generate the output in a required manner. And augment your LLM using the retrieval augmented generation. So this is, I would say, one of the important aspect. So you need to be aware of what exactly is this RAG architecture, and what are the steps that is involved inside this RAG architecture, and how you would implement, like how you would go ahead and take you through implement this RAG architecture at a very high level. You need to have the intuition around it. And also, it will be good if you are also aware of how you can build the RAG agents for LLM. You will not be tested about the overall implementation side, but you'll be tested on the knowledge aspect of it, and how you can make use of the various libraries that we have got from NVIDIA in boosting up the large language models. And some of the key idea about what is this diffusion model, and how you can work with this diffusion model at a very high level. It's not it's required in depth. At a very high level, you need to be aware of it. And it is also important that you understand the customization aspect of this large language model. Okay, now if we take a look into this study guide, so from the study guide standpoint, so they clearly describe what needs to be covered in each of the topic. So if you take a consideration of this core machine learning and AI knowledge, so it basically describes what is it that you need to be aware of. So you need to be aware of the algorithms, how exactly it would work, and how you can use it to perform the given task, whether it is classification, regression, or how you can use the LLMs for the various use cases. They also describe, you read the various research paper around the LLM, be aware of the Python package, prompt engineering principle, and so on. If you take a look at it, these are the key aspects from the core machine learning and AI knowledge. And if you take a look into the other aspects as well, like other units, so there are repeatable definition, or I will say a repeatable wording has been used. Like for example, if I take you to the software development, so here it says assisting deployment and evaluation of the model scalability, and familiar with capabilities of Python package. So these are all the same wordings that you have observed over here as well. Now, during the preparation, what I would recommend you is, along with going through these headings that you would see right here, go through the recommended training, the links that is provided by NVIDIA, And from that curriculum, just ensure that you're covering all the topics of it as I've described earlier. So for each and every module, so they have also described the suggested reading. One is attention is all you need, and what are the services that are available in NVIDIA, and how would you ensure that you are able to in like how you are able to ensure that the model that you have developed it works with NVIDIA. So, what is generative AI, activation function, how you can implement the deep learning on the text data, ARIMA models, what are the foundation models? Foundation model are basically the models which has been trained on a large data set. That's called as a foundation model. And what are the techniques when it comes to tuning the large language models? That is LoRa, that is low rank adaptation of large language models, generative AI. So how does the deep learning would work, and how it works, especially the back propagation. So these are all the key aspects of the core machine learning and AI knowledge. And if you take a look into this data analysis, so along with looking at these headings, it is also recommended that you go through this as well, which describes about what are the key aspects that you have to focus on from the large language model standpoint. That is the usage of rapids library, how you can accelerate your data processing aspect. And they have also described some suggested readings as well. Then coming to the experimentation, what are the ways in which you can you can enhance the experimentation, and everything is provided right here, T. Okay, and they have also described all these necessary information right here. Okay, so this is the examination guide that is provided directly by NVIDIA. I'm sharing you the link in the comment section. So do check out the link for the study guide. Okay, now along with this, what I'll be doing today is I'll take you through some of the important topics that you need to prepare for the examination standpoint. So that would help you that you stay aligned with the expectation from the examination. So one of the common question that you would get, like some questions that would involve is, what are the data cleaning activity that you need to do, especially when you're training your large language model? So let's look into the data cleaning strategies that you need to perform whenever you're cleaning the data from the perspective of large language model. Now, when you think about preparation of the data, so the data that you would feed, it serves as a foundation for the large language models. So if you put the garbage, then you're going to get the garbage outcome from the large language model. So it is essential that you feed the quality data as well as the quantitative data. Now, when you're preparing the data for the large language model, there are some key aspects that you need to remember. So first, the important aspect is removal of the irrelevant content. Now, when I say removal of irrelevant content, so this involves identifying and removing the content which is not useful, especially from the perspective of training the model. Now, this can include the HTML tag, scripts, advertisement, boilerplate text, and so on. Now, in removing such irrelevant content, whenever you're training the large language model, so some of the common techniques that you would use are regular expression, language identification, and heuristics. Regular expression is writing the rules in the format of regular expression, and using that pattern, you will go ahead and remove the irrelevant content. Language identification, that means you can detect the language, okay, of what is being conveyed in the given text. If it is not in the same language on which you want to perform the training, then you will remove that particular language. Heuristics is nothing but specifying the rules. So you would go ahead and specify the rule based methods so that you can identify the irrelevant content based on the certain characteristics. It can be based on length, or it can also be based on the it can also be based on the formatting too. Okay, and another key aspect while preparing the data for the large language model is the deduplication. Now, when I say deduplication, it involves the identification and removal of duplicate text entries which can skew the model's understanding and it might lead to overfitting. Some of the techniques that we would use it, especially for deduplication, are: one is exact matching, where you will compare the text string character and you will do a character by character matching. And the other method is called as fuzzy matching, where you're going to identify the similar or near duplicate text using the algorithms instead of looking at the string to string matching. And the another common thing is the hashing technique. Here, what you will do is you will create the unique hashes for the text string to quickly identify the duplicates. So this duplication is another method that we would use it in order to clean the data for the large language models and handling the missing values. It's also important that we handle the missing values in an appropriate manner. Now, while handling the missing values, some of the common technique that we would use it is we will impute the missing values based on the existing other data points. And if it is not possible to remove it, maybe we'll replace it with a special token so that the model, whenever it is processing the data, it will understand, okay, this is actually a missing value. So the common techniques that we would use it while handling the missing values for the large language models are deletion. So we will remove the entries which are having the missing value. Imputation. Now this involves filling in the missing value using the statistical methods like mean, median, or regression. So this is one technique if possible, but it's not at all possible while working with the numerical, that is the text data. So imputation is very difficult in such scenario. Maybe what we can come up is look at the surrounding words and come up with what could be the words could be. So it's not a straightforward technique. Or yeah, so the common technique that we would use it while working with the NLP is replacing the missing values with a special token such as UNK or unknown for specifying that, okay, this token is actually missing. Okay, so this is another strategy of dealing with the text data whenever we are having the junk value or the missing value. And another key aspect of preparation of training data for your large language model is spelling and grammar correction. So the correcting the spelling errors, grammatical mistake, and the typos will improve the overall quality of the text. Some of the common techniques that we would use it is rule-based spelling checking. So by making use of predefined rules, so we can actually find and correct the common spelling errors. We can also leverage the statistical language models in order to suggest the likely correction if there are any errors. And neural spelling collectors, spell checkers, like we can actually make use of deep learning, which has been trained on large text corpus for more accurate corrections. And the common technique, now I would say this is one of the common technique that we would use it while working with the text data, that's called as a normalization. Now, when we talk about normalization, which is under the preparation of training data for the large language model, it involves standardized text formatting. This will include the capitalization, punctuation, and fixing the other inconsistencies that we have got in a given data set. So, under the normalization, some of the common techniques that we would use are lowercasing. That means we will convert all the text into a lowercase format. We will remove the punctuation. Here, we are going to remove or standardize the punctuation usage. We will replace or remove the special characters if we have in the text data. And then in the normalization step, we'll also go ahead and make use of the tokenization. So tokenization is one of the important pre-processing activity that we would do it on the text data. Now, under this tokenization, we have got various options. We have got word tokenizer, we have got subword tokenizer, and we also have the character tokenizer. Now, in the case of word tokenizer, for a given sentence, I'll break down into individual words based on spaces or punctuation mark to ensure that we are able to split our given text document into small units. This is called as the token word tokenizer. In the case of the subword tokenizer, what we will do is here inside the subword tokenizer, we will split a given text document into relevant tokens, but these tokens will be split or these tokens will be generated based on the tokens that my models has learned. Now that's called as a subword tokenization. And this is one of the commonly used technique, especially when we are working with the large language models. That is a subword tokenization. And character level tokenization, it is nothing but, suppose if I've got the word that says a standardizing text formatting, I'll separate each and every character S, T, A, and D, A, R, D, and so on. So this is called as the character level tokenization. So these are the common techniques that we would use it uh, in order to perform the normalization. Okay. Now, another key aspect of preparation of the data, and this is very much important from the examination standpoint, that is bias mitigation. So it is very important that we identify and mitigate the bias in the given text data. Suppose if the training data that you have collected if that training data has the gender, racial, or other social biases, then your large language model's response will be biased based on the biased data that you have collected. Now, this is especially important for ensuring the fairness and the equitable LLM output. So you have to take care of such biases so that you can ensure that the LLM model is actually a fair one. Now, in order to mitigate the bias, there are various techniques that we have got in the large language models. We have bias detection. We can make use of statistical methods or machine learning models in order to identify the potential biases in the given text data. And once we have identified that we have the bias in a given text data, the next common step that we do is data augmentation. That means we will introduce more diverse data so that we can counter the existing biasness that we have got in the data set. And debiasing techniques. We can also make use of the algorithm or post-processing technique to reduce the impact of such biases in the given data set. And this is one of the important topic from the examination standpoint, as well as the working with large language models in general. Okay. And another key thing, and I'm sure everyone might have experienced it as well, as part of the preparation of training data for the large language model, it is also important that you consider the fact checking and the verification. Whenever you're training your large language model, you always have to ensure that the accuracy and the truthfulness of the information is actually upheld, especially in the training data. And this is important, especially for the tasks such as question answering or summarization. So you don't want to have a model where the user is asking for some question and your model is generating the incorrect responses or the responses which is not true. So in order to perform this fact checking and verification, some of the key techniques are external knowledge bases, that is comparing the information, the training data with external sources for verification. And another technique that can be used is fact checking model. You can employ the machine learning models trained to identify the false or misleading information, or have the human in the loop. That means you can manually review the existing training data with the help of experts to verify the accuracy of the model. Okay. And the apart from this, the other approaches that are recommended for preparation of the data for like especially by working with this large language model is the unsupervised learning. Maybe a clustering or topic modeling can be utilized as well in order to identify the patterns in the given data set and filter out the irrelevant or the noisy content. Active learning. So human annotators can selectively label a subset of data, which can then be used to train the model to perform the automated cleaning task. So this is called as the active learning approach. And you can also make use of the reinforcement learning approach. Now, this method can be used to train the model that learns to identify and correct the errors in the data set based on the feedback. These are the other approaches that can be utilized over here. Okay, so the topics that I've just went through right now, team. Okay, so this is basically the data cleaning and the biasness, right? And this is one of the important topic in your examination guide too. So if you search right here, see, it's one of the topic under describing how to minimize the bias in AI system. So we have actually went through that topic as well. And we have also went through some of the data cleaning aspect too. So if you take a look at it under the data analysis, the data cleaning is one of the important topic. So if you are appearing for the examination, so whatever the topic that we have just went through in few minutes ago, so it's very important. Ensure you watch this video again in case if you want to revisit, because inspecting, cleaning, and transforming the data is one of the crucial aspect, and it's one of the topic that you will be tested upon in the examination. All right, guys. Now, I have got few more things to share, but before I go ahead and share the additional information, I'll take a pause here. So, folks, I want to know from you, do you have any specific questions or anything in general for your NVIDIA certification preparation? So, if you're clear right now, please confirm by typing in as all good. Or if you have got any question, please feel free to let me know, team. Okay, thank you, Darshan, Lakshmikant. Okay. There's a question from Vikram. Vikram says, what is the examination cost? I think, yeah, the examination cost is $135, Vikram. Okay, Nisar says, I'm actually don't know when is the examination. Okay. So Nisar, this, okay, to answer, I think it's a first time that you're joining in. That's completely fine. So this is the certification from NVIDIA. So you can just, I'll share the link over here in the chat window. Okay, so you can use this link to register yourself for the examination. So you can follow the like examination guide that I've just shown you at the start and prepare yourself for the learning journey. So you can schedule on your own time. Okay, there's a question from Sai Krishna. When is the manifold course will get uploaded? Okay, so Sai Krishna, so as per the latest update, the complete course, I'll say the overall, the slides for self-paced learning is already added. So the currently the video recording is in progress for last few units, and the backend team is working on it. So might by 30th of June, I can say that the videos will also be included. Currently, for the learners who are appearing for the examination, you can actually make use of the slides. I'm using the same slide, which is uploaded on the site. You can use the same for your preparation. This has got the comprehensive coverage of all the topics. Okay. And thank you, Sai. And the next question from Bikram is, any training for this examination? Sure. So you can refer to the Deep Learning Institute and the NVIDIA suggested resources over here. And apart from that, from Manifold AI Learning, there's also a course as well on the NVIDIA certification preparation. So I'll share the link over here. You can check out the course page, okay, for the detailed coverage of the topics. It's like you can think of it as a one-stop destination for your examination preparation. Now, once you have prepared for the examination, there is also a practice questions as well, on the same topic, which has got two sets of questions, two sets of question paper, which will help you to get a grasp as what kind of questions that will be expected in the examination. You can make use of these two resources in your preparation journey, Vikram. Okay. Now, Balaji says that thanks for providing a detailed intro about the examination. In the course, mostly each topic needs to be paid. So here, yeah, that's correct. So here, if you take a look into this NVIDIA resources, yes, each of the topic, some of them are free and some of them are paid. Some of them are instructor led and some of them are self-paced. Yeah, you can check out from the NVIDIA Deep Learning Institute. They have the resources as well, and you can check out. Uh, you can also check out the resources from Manifold AI Learning too. So whichever is the one that you would prefer, you can use the same, Balaji. Vikram says, will this be helpful for freshers? So certification can be helpful. That's a tricky part, Vikram, because the whenever the like this will help you, this will add the weightage for the resume, but it is also required that you do some of the project at your end as well, uh, by using your knowledge that you will be gaining in the overall course. So the overall, this particular course is specific to the examination preparation, not for preparing the learners in the generative AI. Maybe you can prepare yourself, get the grasp of it, and then make use of other learning resources to do any project around this generative AI, so that you not only have a certification but also how you will be using such topics, or how will be using such topics, concepts in the production environment. That is the recommendation, Vikram. Okay, Vedant says training. Okay, I think I have answered the same, Vedant. I've just saw your question. uh Training recorded lectures, I've shared you that. Okay. Now, any other questions, folks? There's one more topic that I'm going to show it to you, which is the NVIDIA ecosystem tools for LLM experimentation, data management, and version control. So this is also, I'll say, one of the key topic, and it would easily help you to progress further. Okay. So Vikram says, do you have any course for AI ops? You can check out. Okay. So let me share. Okay, since the question is about the courses. Okay. So there are multiple courses, Vikram. So I think if you're completely fresher, maybe it's for everyone team. If you're looking for mastering your career in the generative AI, you can check out the generative AI package from Manifold AI Learning. This consists of all the required topics that you need in order to master the generative AI, which includes the Python programs for AI ops, DevOps, Python for data science, prompt engineering, and working with generative AI with two hands-on project where you will be building the generative AI based application. It also includes the NVIDIA certification, practice test, the generative AI, NLP basics, the AWS certification, deep learning, mathematics. So it covers every topic that is required for you to master the generative AI in 2024. And not just that, any new course that gets added in the generative AI from Manifold AI Learning. Like I'll just give an example. Suppose if the Manifold AI Learning decides to launch an certification on AWS too, which is on the generative AI, then by registering inside the package, like that course will be automatically added to this package. So if it gets added, you'll have a free access to that upcoming courses too. So that's the advantage of registering this generative AI package. Maybe this is what you can refer, Vikram, if that's the question. Okay, I've just shared you now, Vedant. So this is the generative AI, so you can check out the page. You can check out this page, and maybe you can also click on courses. You can see all the courses that are available. Okay, now let's come back. I'll take the questions at the end as well. Now let's come back. Let's take a look into the another important aspect for the examination preparation, that is NVIDIA ecosystem tools for LLM experimentation, data management, and version control. So from the experimentation standpoint, the NVIDIA tools that we have got, which is an important one from the examination standpoint, is the NVIDIA NeMo. So the NVIDIA NeMo offers various features for the LLM experimentation. It includes the experiment tagging. So this NVIDIA NeMo allows us to automatically log the hyperparameters, metrics as well as the model checkpoint whenever we are performing the training. It also provides the built-in visualization tools too, which will help us to analyze the training curves, model output, and other relevant data. And it integrates with popular hyperparameter optimization such as the Optuna and Raytune that will also enable us to efficiently explore different configuration and find the optimal settings for the large language model. Okay. And another key thing is another tool that we have got is NVIDIA Triton Model Navigator. So this is a tool that would help you to optimize the large language models for deployment by automatically evaluating the different configuration and selecting the most efficient ones based on the specific hardware and the performance goal. That's the role of this NVIDIA Triton Model Navigator. And we have other tools from NVIDIA, especially from the data management standpoint. We have something called as NVIDIA DALI. So this is a library that will accelerate the data loading and pre-processing for deep learning application, which includes the LLMs, because this will enable the data pipeline which can keep up with the demands of the LLM training. Okay, and NVIDIA Magnum IO. So this is a software suite that provides the tools for optimizing the data storage as well as the access that ensures that your LLM training data is readily available and they are efficiently utilized. And NVIDIA GPU direct storage. So this will enable the direct data transfer between GPU memory and the storage, which will bypass the CPU, and this will significantly improve the data loading times for large language models. And for the version control, you can make use of MLflow and NVIDIA NGC. So NVIDIA NGC, that is NVIDIA GPU Cloud Catalog, it offers the version containers for various AI framework and libraries, which will include those which are used for LLM training and the deployment. And many of these LLM tools and the framework integrate well with Git, so you can track the changes, you can track the model configuration, and even the data using the Git LFS or the DBC. And this NVIDIA NeMo, it also integrates with MLflow, which is an open source platform for end-to-end machine learning lifecycle. Now you can think of the like to get a better clarity as how you would use the NVIDIA tools for LLM experimentation. So maybe what you can do is you can use the NVIDIA NeMo's data processing tools as well as the DALI to load and pre-process the training data in an efficient manner. Then you will set the experiment using the NeMo, define the model architecture, hyperparameters, and evaluation metric. And for model training, you will train your LLM on NVIDIA GPUs using the NeMo Megatron for model parallelism and efficient scaling. And you can log your experiment using the NeMo or MLflow, and you will optimize the model using the Triton Model Navigator, and you'll deploy the model using the Triton Inference Server. And for version control, you can make use of Git. And for collaboration, you will make use of MLflow or other collaboration platforms. So that's how you can use this large language models and work with the NVIDIA tools. So the reason that this slide has been presented because to understand how each of the tool would fit in. From the examination standpoint, you will be asked about, okay, so how does the NVIDIA Megatron would help me whenever we are performing the training? So since you are aware of this context of this slide, you'll be able to easily say that, okay, NVIDIA Megatron will help me in model parallelism and efficient scaling. So that's how easy your preparation will be when you understand it from this workflow standpoint. All right. So let's look into the key benefits of using this NVIDIA's ecosystem. One is the accelerated experimentation, efficient data management, reproducibility, and the collaboration. So these are the key benefits of using the NVIDIA's ecosystem. All right, guys. So this was about the preparation strategy and the two important topics that we have described as we have learned in today's session. So go ahead and refer to the documentation. Now, if you're appearing for the examination or if you have got any specific question, okay, from the learning standpoint, please feel free to let me know, team. I'll be here on call for a few more minutes. If you're clear, if you do not have any further queries, so feel free to drop. I look forward to seeing you on the next time. Do check out the courses from Manifold AI Learning. So check out the generative AI package if you want to have a I can say a single time access for the upcoming releases as well. So do remember, as and when the catalog increases, the price is going to increase. So the current price is as per the current catalog, but you'll be getting the free upgrade. Now, as and when the new courses gets added, the price is going to get modified. So make an informed decision, and I hope you have enjoyed the session. So if you're new to us, so consider following us on LinkedIn and connect with me on LinkedIn. I hope to see you next time, everyone. Thank you again for joining in. Thank you, Ramya. Thank you, Diksha. Thank you, Deepti. Okay, I'm glad, Shruti. Oh, that's good to know, Suraj. Suraj says that he was able to clear the examination. Thanks for the study guide. Okay, that's good to know, Suraj, and all the very best, Suraj. Okay, any other questions, team? Thank you, Nilesh. Thank you, Chiranjeevi. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Sayed. Thank you, Rajiv. Sure, Lakshman. Okay. Okay, thank you, Darshan. Okay, thank you, guys. I'll close the webinar since I don't see any other questions. So thank you again for being so interactive in the session. I hope to see you next time. Okay, Vedant says, does this course include basic concepts? So it depends on which course that you're referring to, Vedant. So if you're referring to the NVIDIA, so this preparation is specific to the NVIDIA. It assumes that you have some knowledge on Python programming, and then from there it will take you through the machine learning. Now, let's assume that you are talking about the generative AI. So this has got the basics as well. Like you'll start with Python programming, core Python programming, and you'll get a guide as okay, after which course that you need to follow. You'll get an email automatically after register, which will cover from basics. Okay. Thank you again, everyone. I hope to see you next time. Take care.